In the immediate aftermath of a high-stakes defeat, the footballing world descends into a predictable, almost ritualistic cacophony. Knives are sharpened, statistics are weaponized, and opinions, often untethered from the match's nuanced reality, are fired like volleys from a cannon. Following Arsenal's 1-0 loss at Anfield, this very storm has gathered. Pundits and rival fans are gleefully piling on, pointing to a perceived lack of attacking verve as a fatal flaw. But rather than being rattled by the rhetoric, a more rational inquest is required. It is essential to dissect the real problems, acknowledge the understated positives, and understand the fine margins that decided a contest between two of the league's preeminent forces. Before we delve into the granular analysis, it is instructive to listen to the two men who had the best view in the house. The post-match thoughts of both Mikel Arteta and Arne Slot offered a rare, harmonious chorus of tactical appreciation, a consensus that cuts through the external noise. Arteta, while disappointed, focused on the performance. I think the team showed a lot of good things, a lot of dominance in a place where that is very, very difficult to do. The game was going to be decided whether with an individual error that didn't happen or with a magic moment. Unfortunately, they delivered through Szoboszlai. Slot, the victor, was remarkably candid in his assessment. If we play this game 10 times more in the same fashion, then I think it's 8 times a draw, we win it 1 time, and Arsenal wins it 1 time. It tells you something about the structure and the amount of discipline both teams have without the ball. Then you need a moment of magic, which we got from Dominic. Herein lies the truth of the encounter. Two elite managers from opposing dugouts saw the exact same game. A tactical stalemate of the highest order. A chess match so finely balanced that it could only be broken by an act of sheer, unpredictable genius. This was not a story of systemic failure, but a harsh lesson in the brutal reality of elite sport. The game began as anticipated, a cagey affair with both sides probing for weaknesses like pugilists in the opening round. As the minutes wore on, Arsenal, operating in their classic 4-3-3 on the ball, which morphed into a disciplined 4-4-2 without it, began to assert a quiet dominance. They controlled the tempo, kept Liverpool at arm's length, and seemed to be slowly imposing their will. However, this burgeoning control was cruelly punctured by an unfortunate and now worryingly familiar event, an injury to William Saliba in the opening minutes, forcing Christian Mosquera into the Anfield furnace. Despite this disruption, Arsenal's structure remained remarkably sound. Their press, particularly in their own half, was suffocating. Time and again, Declan Rice, with that interception masterclass, or Martin Zubimendi, would win possession and launch a break, yet the final ball or the subsequent link-up play was conspicuously absent. Several openings were created, be it with Timber, Martinelli or Noni, but nothing really clicked at the end in terms of output. As we theorized pre-match, this was destined to be a game of who concedes less, and for 79 minutes, both teams were masters of denial. For that very reason, you can't miss our pre-game analysis. The reconfigured back four of Timber, Mosquera, Gabriel and Calafiori performed heroically, neutralizing the feared Liverpool trio of Salah, Ekitike and Gakpo. Calafiori, in particular, was a revelation, timing his runs and tackles on Mo Salah with a veteran's perfection. At the other end, Virgil van Dijk was a colossus for Liverpool, his long raking passes a constant reminder of his quality. The midfield selection, with Mikel Merino replacing the creative spark of Odegaard, was a clear statement of intent. Suppress Liverpool's industry first, ask questions later. It was a strategy that largely succeeded. Rice's interceptions were world-class, and the trio successfully clogged the central arteries through which Liverpool thrives. The problem, however, lay further afield. While the selection of forwards as profiles was justifiable, the lack of cohesion was stark. Just as at Old Trafford, Arsenal's transitions faltered in the final third. The devastating runs of Noni, who had Liverpool's new left-back on toast, repeatedly lacked the final product, a familiar criticism from his time at Chelsea. Opportunities for Calafiori to shoot with numbers in the box were taken when a pass might have yielded a higher quality chance. It was control without a cutting edge. Liverpool, for their part, played a surprisingly cautious game. Their usual high-octane press was tempered, denying Arsenal the very space in behind that their direct runners were primed to exploit. It was a fascinating tactical shift from Slot, effectively baiting Arsenal to overcommit, which, to Arteta's credit, they refused to do. The second half continued in a similar vein, but up a gear, with both teams trying to open up a bit more. Still a tense standoff until the 65th minute. Arsenal, being the away team, obviously wanted to dampen Liverpool's home factor. Similarly, Liverpool, being the home side, rushed a bit more, but they didn't commit at all as they usually do. As McAllister struggled, Slot acted decisively, making a change. Arsenal, conversely, persisted with a clearly struggling Gabriel Martinelli, a delay in substitution that allowed Liverpool to slowly grow into the game. After 70 minutes, with the introduction of Eze and Odegaard, Arsenal began to show more attacking impetus, and the game finally began to resemble the end-to-end affair many had predicted. Just as it felt the footballing gods were imploring both teams to go win it, the decisive moment arrived. A free kick 30 yards from goal. Up stepped Szoboszlai and, with a moment of telekinetic brilliance, absolutely leathered it. The ball flew, an unstoppable projectile of purest technique, into the back of the net, off the goalpost. 1-0 to Liverpool. It was a dagger to Arsenal's disciplined heart. The goal sprung Arsenal into the very type of action they had resisted for 80 minutes. With the handbrake released, they poured forward. The new boy Eze instantly troubled the Liverpool defence. His saloming run and almost took a shot, producing an immediate equaliser, making everyone ponder, why didn't the manager start Eze from the start? The football played in those final 10 minutes was a tantalising glimpse of what might have been, but it was too much, too late. Going tactical and losing, even to a moment of magic, will always feel like a failure. It's harsh, but it's the reality of elite football. We are all guilty of being reactionary, but that much leeway is granted to a fan base starved of the biggest trophies, a collective whose only desire is to see their team win. But perspective is paramount. This season was never going to be one of pure aesthetics. It is a campaign that will be defined by results, however they are ground out. The loss at Anfield does not invalidate the approach, it simply highlights the one area that requires refinement. The entire premise of Arsenal's conservative, control-based strategy in big away games is justified if the killer blow can be landed. The magnificent defence is the foundation, but the counter-attacking mechanism must be calibrated to perfection. The link-up between the midfield and the attack must become second nature, creating the very chances that a ruthless finisher like Gyökeres was signed to convert. Let the critics cry foul. We have seen these same voices wax lyrical about the pragmatic genius of Jose Mourinho's greatest sides or the legendary Italian teams of the 80s and 90s, whose triumphs were built on an identical bedrock of defensive impenetrability and opportunistic attack. The blueprint is a proven one. So, chin up, shoulders broad, chest out. There are 35 games remaining. If Arsenal can make this suffocating defensive approach work and find that final, clinical punch, the title is still very much within our grasp. Worst case scenario, we've got that silver medal on lock, right? Anyways, our target is set and we know where to focus.
Now that the international break is here, this is the time for the forward coaching to rise up and do the required work. Calibrate these new pieces into a well-oiled offensive machine that has telepathic synergy and clicks in the final thirds. So that was the brief from Arsenal's narrow defeat at Anfield. Thanks for watching. Please do like and share. More videos incoming, so don't forget to subscribe. This is the Arsenal Blueprint, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then, come on you Gunners.